Well, as you can tell, the fox trap didn't catch us any foxes. Or fox. Is that plural? I'm not real sure. But we did catch an elusive, wild English bulldog who thinks folks, these are the nosiest dogs there ever was. And he decided he wanted him some sardines. And then he got in there and decided, nah, them are pretty nasty smelling. And as you can see, he has trapped himself. Yep. And he can't hardly turn around in there to get back out. And of course, there's nothing like just, freshly getting out of the trap and finding the, freshest pile of compost to roll in. It's not like we don't have a lot of acreage here that he could just run and play and have a big old time, play with the sticks, do things that dogs do, but no, we have to roll in the fresh compost because it smells so nice, and I know you're thinking, well, that's not too big a deal. Look how cute he is. Look at that. I'm telling you. He actually likes water, so it's not too bad to give him a bath, but it takes longer to give him a bath than most animals because of all the little wrinkles that you have to clean out. You have to take a baby wipe, you have to clean the wrinkles around his face and out of his ears and around his little butt, because bulldogs, they can't reach around there and clean themselves, so you have to clean it. It's an ordeal. So yeah, he's up for a shower with Dad sometime tonight. Ollie, you're something else. You know that? You are something else. Oh yeah, construction, folks. Construction morning. As you can tell by the speed square and the bucket to catch the scraps. We got some screws, a hammer. Yeah, and looky here, we've built us a little box. Yep, a little box to put us some, I don't know, flowers, strawberries, whatever we want to put in it. But at least we've got us a new above ground box. And reason we have us a new above ground box, this one here is pretty nice too. It's a little deeper. I think that's where we're going to put our squash and maybe a cucumber or two or something. I don't know. But the reason we're doing that is because, as you can tell, I have taken the old bridge apart. Now pay no mind to the board across the trees there. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I just did that I don't know. My brain was going 100 miles an hour. I feel kind of sorry for the ducks because they have no pond. The bridge, they used to roost on top of the bridge at night. So I thought, maybe I'll put it between these two trees here. But that's where the fox comes, so I don't think that they would roost there. So I put it back there in the woods thinking that they might roost on it, but they haven't found it yet, and I don't think they will. What you got there?
I got zucchino rampicante.
That's those big long ones that we liked last year, right?
Yeah, because the squash bugs they have a solid stem instead of a hollow stem.
Yes.
And the borer bugs can't get up in through there to hurt them.
Yes.
You'll still get squash bugs, but it took all summer to kill them from the squash bugs. And then I got early fortune cucumbers. They'll be about 7 to 8 inches long, 2 inches across. Can't remember if this is a multi-purpose
Slicing or a pickling.
I think it is. Well, I mean, you can always slice them up. Slicing type fruit. Never bitter. So, probably not a pickling cucumber. I don't know. I'll have to look. It's okay. We'll eat them.
We can put mustard on them and they'll be sour.
Right?
Be like a pickle.
We can do fridge ones, but the zucchino is such a big plant. We're only gonna start a few of them.
Sure.
And they're if you read your seed packet, it tells you how deep to plant. 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep, 12 to 24 inches apart. They need 8 to 12 hours of sun, and it'll sprout in 5 to 10 days if the temperatures are right.
Are the temperatures right?
Temperatures are right enough. This is about 1 inch deep, your first knuckle.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to put 2 seeds in each one to give them a good chance. If they both sprout, then I'll kill one off.
You know why? You know why them seeds look like pumpkin seeds?
Why?
Because pumpkin is in the squash family.
Oh, yeah, they're squash, yeah.
Yeah.
You're such a smart guy. I knew there was a reason I had you.
Right. I didn't know if you knew that.
Well, I
Here, let me get my fancy dancy wheelbarrow out of the way.
out of the way. Alright. Zucchino rampantes planted. Now we got cucumbers. Cucumbers are 1/2 inch deep, so we will only go halfway. And I'm gonna put these in between them, and they can go together.
Alright.
We'll have room up front though for onions or something else.
Sure.
Might actually put some of them tomatoes over there or something. Same thing again. I'll do 2 seeds per hole. Weed them out.
You know, you might go get your nails done.
Right? This is not this is not the season for nails. For me, for sure. I should wear gloves is what I should do. We're going to do 2 between each one. Couple more. Takes a wire brush to get all the dirt to come off my hands. Okay. Those are planted.
And they should go up your trellis.
Yeah, we'll try. Once they get big enough, we'll start training them. And then they'll do it on their own once they get high enough. And I'll lay something over this so the chickens and cats don't get in there.
Hey folks, we've got okra seeds. And as you can see, the master gardener, she's just getting with it out there with her little hoe. And we're out here on the side of the highway. This isn't our normal garden spot, but it does get more sun here. And we had this okra seed soaking for a couple days or a day. I don't know how long she had it soaking. I'm making that up. But anyway, it's ready to go in the ground. And we moved it out here because it gets more sun. Now, you have to have a long water hose to reach out here to water everything. So it may not get quite as much water as the regular garden, but it should be fine. It should be fine because eventually here in a few minutes, I'm also going to hill me up a place to plant just a few watermelon out there just to see how they do. I'm going to plant some in the garden over here too, watermelon that is, and where I know they'll get more water and just see what they do better. I mean, it is a watermelon, so I'm sure it needs more water than what it's going to get out here. But in the meantime, I've had to adjust the audio a little bit because as you can tell, yes, it is sped up a little bit, but the trees, I can't make that up. It was windy this morning. You can tell by our clothes blowing, it was super windy this morning. And plus we're out by the highway, so you really couldn't hear us talking. And really we weren't saying anything that amounted to anything besides, hey, this wind's about to blow me down. Hand me a couple of them rocks to put in my pocket. So here I am hilling up just a little bitty spot here, just to throw a couple watermelon seeds in here. I believe these are going to be sugar baby watermelons. They're not they're more of a personal size watermelon, just, you know, for one person. Kind of like a personal pan pizza, only in watermelon form. And there, the wind blew my camera down. And if I'm not mistaken, it's probably going to blow it down again. So hey, so much for editing, right? So here we are with the new little box that I built out of the bridge, and just scraping a little bit of this grass out, some of the bigger stuff, throwing it out, turning it over. If it turns over, it'll be fine. We'll smother it out and it'll just put some nitrogen in the ground and everything will be fine. But we're going to put us some of these sweet baby watermelons in here. Now these are they'll grow on the ground, of course, like any other watermelon, but also if you'll put a trellis up, they will grow up. Because they're not a heavy watermelon, they can hang. They're just for one person type watermelon, just a little, I don't know, a little bigger, maybe like a volleyball size. Think about a volleyball, you know, they're not real big. And we also, on this other side, may put in some, we thought about putting in some mushmelons because there's, you know, the bed's big enough to support something else in there. But the more we got to looking at it, we think these little mushmelons, and they're like a cantaloupe type fruit, but I'm not sure that there's going to be room in there because these little watermelons are going to probably, you know, grow up and out. Probably the vines, there's no way I'm going to keep the vines in the box, and cantaloupe will do the same thing. So I figure they'll choke each other out, and I really don't want to wrestle and match in there. So we'll end up putting something in there. I don't know, a tomato plant maybe or two. The hardest part is going to be keeping the chickens out of here. Usually when we have watermelons growing and things like that, any kind of fruit, anything that you really will want to eat, the chickens will end up getting it. And that's, you know, that's why when you see our beds and things, we have fence and everything else over the top of it. So that'll keep the chickens out of it, but this, I really don't want to cover it. So we're hoping the chickens don't scratch the watermelons out. So far so good on the strawberries. We took the fence down around it and they haven't bothered it so far, but the strawberries haven't really turned red yet. They're just starting, so hopefully that is, they'll leave it alone. But this is going to give me an idea. These watermelons will be watered a lot more often than the ones out by the highway, for the simple fact that the water hose will reach here a lot, you know, easier, and it's around other fruit and vegetables that we will be watering daily. So it'll be interesting to see what does well and what doesn't. And we're going to put 2 melons per hill. And I think I can't remember now, I'm having to look back. I think we had like 4 hills, 5 maybe, I can't remember. So hopefully something will sprout out of there. And we'll have us some sweet little watermelons. So the onions that I cut and trimmed up last week, if you take a look at these little ones here on the ground, they're already starting to come back, just as I figured they would. Now these taller ones, of course, are the ones I left, but these small ones, after a week, we're already starting to get new green growth. And as you can tell, we got some of the radishes that we planted the exact same day. They're starting to come up. And this radish here got huge leaves on it, so I thought it would be ready. But as I kind of pulled on it, tugged a little bit, it needs to cook a little bit longer. Just needs to cook a little while longer. So we stuck her back in the ground. But yeah, the onions are doing great. So do you ever get tired of sitting there in your recliner, watching the same television over and over and over again. Don't even want to get up, go get a drink of water. You're just so tired of it. Or laying there on your couch. Sleep with your eyes closed. Because some of y'all sleep with them open. You know what I'm saying? Just tired of sleeping on the couch. Well, if you're bored, crawl up under your house and fix a water line. It may not be broke, and if it's not broke, then break it. That way you'll have something to do. And if you don't have one that's broken, call up your father. I'll bet you he's got one that's broken. Crawl up under there, and you might see him in a minute, or you may have already seen him. I don't know, because it's so dark under here, I can't tell. Take a Tucker dog with you, because he will help you with your plumbing. Now, you think I'm joking and kidding, you'll think he'll just be in the way, but he's really not, because there's a there's a method to the madness. Tucker dog will get rid of all them snakes, all them possums, all them creepy crawlies that's under there with you. The spider webs that get in your face, you know the ones I'm talking about, that if you was walking through the woods and it hit you in the face, you'd hit every tree trying to get out from away from it. You know what I'm talking about. Well, Tucker dog runs through them before you do. That way you don't have to fool with that. But on a serious note here, and I realize this video is kind of choppy because I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to film underneath this house. Now, thankfully, where I'm at, I could actually sit down. Didn't have to lay on my belly. But under this house, not only is it dark, creepy, crawly, which it would be under your house as well. There's no place to set up a camera. I'm not sure anybody would want to set up a camera under here. I just wanted to take y'all with me just to give you an idea of what it's like when you live around here on a little nuts farm. You got to be a little bit nuts to do some of these things, try to tackle some of these projects, and they don't always go well. This is the second time that I've been under here to replace this. The first time I didn't replace it far enough back, so this time we're going to try to do it right and get it done the right way. Now, mind you, I'm no physicist, I'm no doctor, I'm no master gardener, nor am I a plumber. But I have seen one on YouTube a time or two. And that is all I'm doing. Now, basically, this little water line runs all the way across the house. It goes to a little spigot that's on the front of the house where my mother can water her flowers without having to drag a water hose 100 miles. So it froze and busted over the winter. And that's what we're trying to do is, at first we were just going to replace and splice in where it froze and busted. But as we did that, we got to noticing the pipe had cracked a lot farther back. So that's what we're doing. We're going to sit here and put this pipe together in the dark with the creepy crawlies and get this thing done. That's a handy dandy tool right there. That way you don't have to take saws in there with you. It's just a pair of, I don't know, I call them plumbing scissors because that's the way they work. You just stick them on the pipe and start ratcheting that sucker and it cuts right through it. And I tend to get lots of glue and cleaner all over my hands, so trying to grab the phone and move it a different angle to where you can see things, and Not to mention the dirt on my hands, and did I mention the creepy crawly stuff that's down there with me and stuff. I just didn't really want to touch the phone too much. So it kind of set where it is, and you get a nice eclipse every once in a while of my headlight there. But hey, we get it done the best we can. And suffice to say, here in a little bit, we get it all back together. Let her dry for a few minutes. Turn her on. And she worked out just fine. So I'm going to leave you with that. And show you that it worked out just fine. And as you can see there, Tucker dog, he's headed back to the other end of the house where I've got to crawl myself, and he's going to make sure that there's no spider webs in my way. And yeah, I know. See all that glue on there, on that pipe? That's just extra stuff there. You know what I'm saying? That glue, as all of you folks know, is so cheap. They just give that stuff away. So if you get it all over the pipe, it's not a big deal. It'll be all right. It's not too bad. So the splice is in. Tucker dog is ready to go. I'm loading up my tools, and actually I'm pretty sure that my dad has turned the water on by now. And everything seems to be holding, or else I'd be running and this camera would be shaking like, well, I'd be crawling and this camera would be shaking like crazy. So it's all holding. Pops has got the water under control now. Mom will be able to water her flowers. Tucker dog is headed back to the other end of the house to where I don't have to worry about the spiditers. And I'm fixing to go make my way to the other end of the house. Like I said, pay no attention to that glue. Don't worry about that glue. It's supposed to be like that. Hey folks, how's it going? Still got the old purple thumb. Yeah, nasty hands. I don't know how good that's showing up. Still got glue all over me. But anyway, hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. This video was a little bit different this time because for the simple fact that a lot of the stuff that we did, I couldn't have a microphone tethered to me. And it's a little bit harder to go over and just make audio dubs over the video because you don't know how long the video actually is. So you don't know how long to talk, and you forget some of the things that you were doing and saying. It's just different. That's just it. Hey, it's a growing experience. We're all just learning here. So I'm sitting out behind the greenhouse because I'm trying to get out of this wind because it's been blowing 100 miles an hour, and that messes with the audio. And also, I can get in the shade here just a little bit. I was in the shade just a little bit. Now it's getting a little bit harder to see the screen. But anyway, getting back to the video, we planted some sugar baby watermelons in the new box, one of the new boxes that we built out of the material from the old bridge that was across the pond that we tore up. Tried to make us a little roost for the ducks, the Muscovy ducks in the woods, because the pond's gone. They used to roost on that. I don't think that's going to work out, but I don't know. We'll hang some dream catchers. We'll do some hippy dippy stuff. I don't know. We might paint our name on it. Who knows? We'll do something. We'll do something with it. Also, we planted some of the sugar baby watermelons and okra out by the highway. And no, I'm sorry, it was not sugar baby watermelons. Those were some of the oldest watermelons. I don't know if it's in the world, but I think it's in the US. I'm not sure. But we got those from Rocky Homestead, my friend Jeffrey, a year or two ago. So the seed, I don't know how good the seed's going to be. We planted some of those out by the highway. I don't know how good those are going to do out there. And the okra will probably be all right because it don't take a lot of water. But trying to stretch water hoses out there to those melons might be a challenge. And that's why I planted some of these little sugar baby watermelons a little closer to the garden here. So we'll see how it goes. Look, if they don't make it, they don't make it. And that goes for anything that we plant. We're planting it to eat. Hopefully we won't starve to death, but throw it out there. Throw any seed you got out there and just see what comes up. If it don't make it, it's not the end of the world, but at least you tried. You know, at least you tried. I promise you, if you just keep them in those packages, they just get old and they don't grow in packages at all. Also, we crawled under Pop's house and did some plumbing for the second time. The first time we did it was not successful. Well, what we did was actually successful. That part didn't leak. The problem was where I spliced it, I should have spliced it a little further back because I couldn't see whether it was glasses, dark, chigger boogers on it, I don't know. Whatever it was, when we turned the water on, back behind where I had fixed it was still leaking really bad. So we crawled under there and we redid a whole lot more of it, and this time it held, and that's all that matters. Of course, we also, in the big planter box, put in some of the long zucchini squash. It's good stuff, I'm telling you. It's squash borer bug friendly. They get all over it, of course, but they do not kill the plant, so it's fantastic for that. We also planted some cucumbers in that bed, and that's not the name of that squash, by the way, and I cannot remember what it's called. I think she tells you in the video, but it's good stuff. But the cucumbers we put in there, we're probably going to let them grow up a little bit, and then we might move them somewhere else because I'm not sure they're going to work out there with the squash. But other than that, we've had a busy weekend. We sure have. We've got all of our mulch and stuff spread. And I know I'm coming at you with 2 videos this weekend. You never know. It's just one of those things. We did some stuff, and I wanted to go ahead and get the editing process going. So if the editing's done, you might as well just send it. You know what I'm saying? Just shoot it on out there. So that's what we've done. Hey, we're going to jump out of here and let the video just roll. I hope that God keeps and blesses y'all. I want to say thank you to Rocky Homestead for I wanted to say tomato seeds, for the watermelon seeds. By the way, Pops paid me for fixing his water pipe problem with yellow meated watermelon seeds. So we stuck them in the ground too out there by the highway. The only problem is I'm not real sure on the spacing now of where what's what. So when they start coming up, we may have to do some situating. We might have to do some situating. You know what I'm saying? I hope God keeps you, and I hope He blesses your whole family. And I hope you'll like, share, comment, subscribe, because it just makes this channel grow. And that's all we care about. Thank you, folks. See you next time. Right here on Little Nuts Farm.